Good afternoon to you all. First of all, I would like to thank our Queensland host for this great opportunity to participate at this video conference. I would like to say hello to Simon and Willem and like to thank Richard and Arwin for their excellent and inspiring presentations. This may sound a bit peculiar in a pre-recorded video message, but I assure you that I know their message and saw their slides in advance. It took me less than a minute to accept the invitation for today, since flood risk management and water governance are two themes that are at the heart of my work and life. I was even more convinced when I found out that this conference showcases the successful collaboration between Queensland and the Netherlands on water management, on flooding and water scarcity. It is intriguing to me that despite the fact that our countries are worlds apart, there are so many topics to learn from each other. Water truly unites us all. Inspiring to me are also the innovative ways of collaboration by means of the community of practice and by involving the younger generation through the Australian-Dutch Water Challenge. Now, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm Henk Ovink, Special Envoy for International Water Affairs of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. As a water ambassador, I can represent the Netherlands and its water partners of big governments, businesses and research institutes and the way we deal with water, both in the Netherlands and elsewhere. And the beauty about my role is that I can represent the entire country. Now let's talk about water. According to the World Economic Forum, water is the world's #1 risk. And I couldn't agree more. Water impacts us all, our economies and ecologies, and our ever-increasing urbanizing world. So the world water system won't stay in place unaided. As a country with ages of water expertise on governance, we build our democracy on it, the Netherlands can help solve the worldwide water crisis by collaborating with others and sharing our knowledge. Improving the world with our collective water know-how. But we can never do this alone. We need the know-how of others, the local and regional expertise, to keep our water system working for us. After Hurricane Sandy devastated parts of New York and New Jersey, the American federal administration asked me to join President Obama's Hurricane Sandy Rebuilding Taskforce. And after the hurricane hit New York, the city was left with huge challenges. In the wake of the storm, I established Rebuild by Design, a trend-setting way to design, fund and implement a resilient future for the Sandy-affected region. Accompanied by United States authorities, I marshaled the world's greatest talent to answer a region's need, while placing civic leaders and communities at the heart of this design process. Currently, 7 projects making the New York area a safer metropolitan delta are underway. In line with the Dutch Delta approach, multi-stakeholder groups remain involved within these projects to rebuild this delta. Rebuild by Design was even hailed by CNN as the most innovative idea of 2013. Now for today, I would like to touch on 2 subjects as an input for the discussion. Multi-layer safety concept, because that is the first thing that comes to my mind thinking about flood risk management, and of course, water governance. Flood risk management in the Netherlands means a multi-layer safety approach, recently presented by Professor Bas Jonkman during the FMA conference in Brisbane last May. This approach is built out of 3 layers. 1, flood prevention is the base. 2, land use management and building regulation as the connecting approach. And 3, emerging response and restoration when things, despite everything we do, still go wrong. As I understood it correctly, the Australian Productivity Commission recently published a report that showed that almost your entire budget for natural disaster management is spent on spatial planning and emergency responses. In the Netherlands, it may very well be completely the other way around. Almost our entire budget is spent on flood prevention, by building better levees, dams, dikes, and improving the riverine system of our delta to deal with the extremes that come with our water risks. The second layer, on land use management and building regulations, however, has a clear focus of us these days. Because this layer, and more in general, this concept, shows that our Dutch system of collaboration really is a spatial planning approach. Planning and water management are at the core of the development of our cities, of our country. Our institutional capacity to deal with both in a comprehensive way set the stage for the merger of the Department of Environment and Planning with the Department of Infrastructure, Public Works and Water Management. Water and cities are at the core of this second layer, and it's mostly a local task. In the Netherlands, we deregulated our planning policies, and it are the cities that take the lead, successfully to merge a planning and water approach to get to a truly resilient and sustainable urban delta. The richness and the complexity may inform us to make this approach a new subject for our collaboration. Now, water is our culture in the Netherlands. It's in our genes, and so is water governance, with the Regional Water Authority as one of the first water governance bodies back in the 12th century. While I was Director General of Planning and Water Affairs, I started with the OECD the assessment of our water governance. A year ago, the report was presented, and we got an A+ for our governance system. And only 2 weeks ago in Paris, the Netherlands presented the OECD principles on water governance as being the chair of the OECD Ministerial Council meeting. But the OECD also taught us that water awareness in the Netherlands is lacking. Can you imagine in a country where 26% is below sea level and another 29% is flood prone, where we earn 70% of our GDP and 9 million people live? And next to this awareness gap, we will have a demand of over 10,000 professionals in the next decades. In short, the Netherlands is still the safest delta of the world, but some take that too easily for granted. Now, climate is changing and water is fluid, flowing and changing all the times as well. So new challenges will keep occurring. The urgency to keep improving our water management and water governance is a constant factor. And since water is a global issue, the best way to do this is by working together and sharing our knowledge and expertise worldwide. We can only improve the world for the better if we help and inspire each other and set better examples for a brighter future. In Sendai, at the UN-ISDR conference on disaster risk reduction, the Netherlands presented, together with Japan and Colombia, the Delta Coalition, a coalition of strong partners, countries that are vulnerable, but also have the capacity and the political will to set up that challenge collectively. Thus far, Vietnam, Korea, the Philippines and France have joined. Perhaps we can inspire Australia to join us as well. For our partnership, our Australian-Dutch water collaboration, working together constantly is the way forward. And with this collaboration, we will inspire others. So let's strengthen our collaboration, but not only exchanging our knowledge and expertise, but let's also join forces in the places at risk, to work together in other East Asian countries to help improve our world with our collective water know-how. I thank you for your attention, and I look forward to next steps and hear your views during your breakout sessions. Wishing you luck and real water inspiration.